Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. The picture out here, not as lovely as it had been last week. A little bit of clouds rolling in, as you can see, and that's likely to be what we are stuck with for the rest of the week. The view here from the cross cam looking north up the Wenatchee Valley. Temperatures in the 40s for this upcoming several days. Maybe a little bit of break in the later part of the week, but Dan Kuntz will be along with a lot more weather outlook for your planning of this upcoming week. But now a couple of the stories we're following for you tonight. A 26-year-old Wenatchee man is dead after a four-car collision on Saturday south of the city. COVID-19 outbreaks in Grant County adult care homes have been linked to 9 deaths. And Chelan County violated growth management rules when it approved a Wenatchee River subdivision. But first, we begin tonight on the Malaga-Alcoa Highway, where a young man was killed in a Saturday morning wreck. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris says Ignacio Molinero Mendoza, age 26, of Wenatchee, died after his car crossed the center line near the Apple Yard about 6:45 a.m. Chelan County deputies say Mendoza was driving a Subaru Impreza northbound when he struck a southbound Subaru Legacy and went into a spin, colliding with a third southbound vehicle. A fourth car had minor impact injuries or minor impact damage while trying to avoid the wreck. One other driver received non-fatal injuries and was taken to Central Washington Hospital for treatment. The deadly wreck remains under investigation by both the Sheriff's Office and the Washington State Patrol. Well, Grant County health officials called in an isolation and quarantine strike team after 9 COVID-19 deaths were linked to a Soap Lake senior care and rehab facility. It is one of at least 3 major coronavirus outbreaks reported at senior homes in Grant County. The Grant County Health District said Friday it has confirmed the deaths of 5 residents of McKay Healthcare and Rehab Center, with 4 additional deaths pending investigation. The strike team from the State Department of Health has been on site at McKay to help prevent further spread of the virus. In addition, the Health District says Lake Ridge Center in Moses Lake, which houses Alzheimer's and dementia patients, has had 49 residents and 12 staff members test positive for the virus. Columbia Crest Care Facility, also in Moses Lake, has had 25 residents and 22 staff members test positive, with 1 resident hospitalized. The confirmed deaths at McKay were a woman in her 60s, 2 women in their 80s, a woman in her 90s, and 1 man in his 80s. Well, the Chelan County decision to rezone a large orchard area for a proposed subdivision did not comply with the Growth Management Act. That's the determination of the Washington Growth Management Board, handed down on Thursday. The property is 63 acres between Leavenworth and Peshaston, dubbed Riverstone Ranch, which the county last spring recategorized as rural/residential. That would have allowed developers to build new homes there with 2.5-acre lot sizes along the Wenatchee River. The City of Leavenworth and the Friends of Leavenworth Advocacy Group asked the state board to review the decision. That board invalidated the county's action, saying it did not adhere to the GMA or the county's own growth management plan. Chelan County has 10 days to ask the board for reconsideration. Well, Grant County Sheriff's detectives are investigating a shooting outside Moses Lake on Saturday afternoon that seriously injured a man. The Sheriff's Office said shortly after receiving 911 reports of a vehicle being shot several times in the Stratford Road area, a man showed up at Samaritan Hospital with a gunshot wound. He subsequently was airlifted to a hospital outside the area. Sheriff's Department Public Information Officer Kyle Foreman said the victim has not yet been identified, and detectives are still piecing together details of the shooting. Well, coming up next, Senator Maria Cantwell wants to make room for more women in wildland firefighting. And the Wenatchee Valley Museum wants you to know parts of it are open for business with special pandemic preparations. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in north central Washington since 1998. Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today. Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Welcome back. In other news tonight, Washington Senator Maria Cantwell is pushing for a bill to update the country's approach to prescribed fire and to modernize its hiring practices. The National Prescribed Fire Act would expand the use of prescribed fire to prevent large wildfires on federal lands. But in addition, it would help former convicts who served on fire crews to find careers at the Bureau of Land Management and in the Forest Service. And it would expand training and leadership opportunities for women in firefighting. Cantwell spoke with agency heads about the proposal in a Senate hearing on Wednesday.
I'm also interested in the role that women are playing in our forests and the women in fire aspect of that legislation 4625. So I wonder, Mr. French, if you could address both that issue.
It is a particular focus of ours as an agency right now to create a work environment that not only recruits and retains a more diversified space for folks, including in our fire organization, but especially a place that is, again, we can recruit but retain. It's welcoming and valuing women in the fireplace. We recognize the history we've had in this, and we have taken many proactive and deliberate and concrete steps under the leadership of Chief Christensen to change that vector. And I'm quite proud of the approach the agency has been taking.
The prescribed fire legislation does take another step forward by encouraging the recruitment and retention of women in fire, which I think is great. Some of the changes that are also being proposed in terms of shifting seasonal fire employees to permanent fire employees is also very helpful to many women in fire who do want a career in fire, but also have other responsibilities in terms of caring for the home.
The Senate adjourned last week without taking action on that bill, which was sponsored by Cantwell and other Democratic senators. Well, every year, Douglas County's solid waste program offers a used tire drop-off event where residents can safely dispose of their old rubber. This year, thanks to coronavirus, it's structured a little differently. Residents must call 886-0899 to set up an appointment, but the appointment is at your convenience. Only passenger vehicle tires, please, and no more than 10 tires per customer. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center can't open all its exhibits due to COVID-19, but it can offer some visits by appointment. Call ahead to the museum and you can enter their gift shop, as well as the Women Painters of Washington exhibit. It's the 90th anniversary of that art event. The gift shop and featured art gallery are following health and safety guidelines, so expect to wear masks and socially distance if you attend. You can make reservations through the museum's website, WenatcheeValleyMuseum.org, or by calling 888-6240. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, what does it take to keep track of Washington's growing wolf population? You'll find out. Plus, Dan Kuntz will be along with the weather and sports. That's all still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kerry Condata. This is the 12th District TV show, aired 8 times every week on NCWLIFE TV. We cover business and politics like no one else does it because I've been there and done it. 30 years self-employed, 16 years in the House of Representatives, and 12 years running campaigns across the state of Washington. That resume means you're getting information you can't get anywhere else. This is the 12th District. I'm Kerry Condata.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Washington State is home to an estimated 145 wolves spread across 26 packs. We only know that through the persistent efforts of biologists, wolf trackers, and spotters with the State Department of Fish and Wildlife. The agency last week issued a feature video showing the ins and outs of the wolf counting process. Here's an excerpt.
Their clock. 6 o'clock. Right there. Okay, got her.
We're flying 10 feet off the ground at 30 miles an hour around trees just to get a chance at maybe darting a single animal.
Maybe. Right there. Ah, dart him. Dart him. Nice job, guys. Nice job.
We virtually had no wolves left in Washington State after 1930. And in the 90s and early 2000s, wolves started to show up in reports occasionally. But in 2008, we were able to confirm our first pack. And then from there, it's been building. So they're coming from British Columbia, they're coming from Idaho, Montana. And part of my job in monitoring the population is seeing where they're recolonizing, what parts of Washington they're showing up, and trying to find them as they get here. Let's see.
We're monitoring wolves a lot of different ways in all these different aspects to answer the same question. How many wolves are there and how's recovery progressing? It might seem simple, but there's a lot going on in that.
Today we went out on snowmobiles in the Loop Loop Pack territory. We are doing our winter surveys where we try to get a minimum count of the number of wolves in each pack. And so we were looking for tracks and sign of wolves, because that's one of our methods for counting them.
So we got 2 at least going this way. And if you've got a lot of sign and activity, we'll throw up a trail camera there and see when they come back through.
And so we do that first. And if we think wolves are in the area and we think it's a pack of wolves and they may have pups, we'll then try to go in and we'll try to collar one of those adult wolves. And the way we do that is by trapping them in the summer.
Fascinating creatures. You can view that full video on Fish and Wildlife's Facebook or YouTube page. Now, with this evening's weather outlook, we turn once again, perhaps for the last time this week, to Dan Kuntz.
Once again, hi everybody. Dan Kuntz filling in for Grant Olson one more time on the weather. Grant will be back tomorrow, so we're told. I'm not holding my breath. Beautiful view from our cross camera overlooking the Wenatchee Valley and the Wenatchee Heights on this Monday. Boy, it was kind of a raw weekend. Weren't really expecting the kind of conditions that we got. We only hit 36 degrees on Saturday. That was it. That was all we got to, and that happened at 11:59 at night. So we never really warmed up on Saturday. We got a little bit warmer on Sunday, but not much. But we're in for some above normal temperatures, especially towards the back half of the week. In fact, just a quick heads up, Thanksgiving looks mighty fine indeed. But as you can see, some low clouds and some fog continues to make its presence felt here on the Wenatchee Valley, which is pretty much normal for this time of the year. Speaking of this time of the year, let's go ahead and take a look at our statistics. 41 our high today, just about normal, just a skosh above normal, 31 for the overnight low. Temperatures have really been hovering right around normal for the last really 7 or 8 days. No real dramatic temperature changes. That record high of 64 back in 1959, which of course was the year that Cal Fitzsimmons graduated from high school, and that bitter weather back in 85, that unbelievably cold winter of 1985. If you lived here, you remember that. Look at that, -5. Just a little bit of light rain. That's all we got, almost not enough to even register on the rain gauge. And we had 9 hours and 1 minute of daylight. We're going to be underneath that 8-hour mark for daylight, or underneath the 9-hour mark for daylight starting tomorrow. We're losing about 2.5 minutes of daylight a day. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures we can expect on Tuesday all over north central Washington. As usual, we start out in the Columbia Basin, where they're expected to have dry conditions throughout the forecast period. Heads up on that. Moses Lake 43, Ephrata 41, Quincy right around 40. All of these temperatures are pretty much normal for everybody. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, 41 degrees. Cashmere will top off at 38. Lake Wenatchee, as usual, the cold spot, 34 degrees. The lake is starting to freeze up just a little bit. And our friends up in the Omak and Okanagan area, they'll be in the upper 30s for their high temperatures come tomorrow. So what's going on? Actually, not a lot. Pretty quiet, all things considered. Nothing really happening today under partly sunny skies. We get some late afternoon sun breaks right around 41 degrees. Just a little bit, a couple of light systems. That high pressure ridge that gave us that fairly nice weather at the end of last week, it's out of here. It's in Montana now. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. Now, we talk about that chance of rain, 60%. That's all going to be later in the day. When you get up tomorrow, the snow level is going to be about 2,000 feet. It's going to go up to above 3,000 feet. And when we get to about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on Tuesday night is when the rain's going to come. And it's going to spill into Wednesday. And that 20% chance of rain that you see for Wednesday, almost all of that is going to be in the morning. And then we're going to warm up to a very balmy 47 degrees tomorrow. And we'll even see a few sun breaks tomorrow afternoon. Thursday, of course, gobble, 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 turkey day, 48 degrees, quite a bit of sunshine, so you can have your Thanksgiving meal in the mid-afternoon and still have enough daylight to go out and walk around the park and work off the extra calories. 48 is pretty mild for this time of the year. Friday, partly cloudy skies, just a slight chance of rain all throughout this forecast period. The chance of precipitation will all be rain here in the Wenatchee Valley. The snow level is going to be above the valley floor, nothing lower than anyway to about 3,000 feet. Partly cloudy, very pleasant on Saturday, no concerns there, with a high of 46 degrees. Do want to mention the mountain passes are expecting some snow tomorrow night, Tuesday night into Wednesday. So if you plan on traveling over the river and through the woods, that's the most difficult travel time, Tuesday night into Wednesday. For the valley, we wrap up the Thanksgiving weekend with lots of clouds, cooler temperatures, and a high of 44. You noticed almost all of these temperatures pretty mild as we get some warm air coming up from the southwest. So all things considered, very little precipitation. Here is your forecast. As you can see, 41 under a few clouds and a mixture of sunshine later on today. Mostly cloudy on Tuesday. Again, you see that 60% chance of rain. All of that's going to be late afternoon. If we get rain tomorrow, it'll be 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon into Tuesday night, eventually drying off on Wednesday. We'll see some sun breaks, very mild temperatures on Wednesday afternoon. Thanksgiving looks just beautiful, lots of sunshine, warm temperatures. Clouds and sun will do battle on Friday and Saturday, and we wrap up the weekend Sunday under cloudy skies, and highs will be in the lower 40s. All of these temperatures at or well above normal. And that's your weather forecast. We're going to take a break, and Jefferson will be back. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse? Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel. Hi, sports fans. Dan Kuntz once again filling in for Eric Grandstrom, and like we've been doing since this COVID-19 pandemic began, most of the sports is about games that aren't being played, and this Monday is no exception. There will be no Apple Cup this Friday in Pullman as scheduled. The game is being called off because Washington State will not, and I'm quoting now, have the minimum number of scholarship players available for the game as a result of a number of positive football student-athlete COVID-19 cases and resulting isolation of additional football student-athletes under contact tracing protocols, end quote. In a statement, Washington State Athletic Director Pat Choon said Wazoo will be below the limit of 53 scholarship players on Friday. Of course, they were supposed to play Stanford on Saturday. They did not for that very same reason. Both schools say they're going to work with the Pac-12 Conference to reschedule the game for a later date this year. The two programs have met 112 times. The last time the Huskies and Cougars did not play each other was 1944. That's when Washington State did not field a football team because of World War II. Washington AD Jennifer Cohen said that Washington will work to find another replacement for this upcoming weekend to take Washington State's place. On Thursday, the Pac-12 announced that it would allow its members to schedule non-conference games should a Pac-12 team's conference game get canceled. Now, according to ESPN, the Huskies reached out to number 8 ranked Brigham Young University. The Cougars are 9-0. They just have one more scheduled game. But according to sources, BYU has resisted the Huskies' overtures to play this weekend. The Pac-12 has already moved Arizona State's home game against Utah to this Sunday. The hope is that the Sun Devils can get past their COVID issues. Arizona State hasn't played since the opening weekend of the Pac-12 season, and Utah played for the first time on Saturday night, losing to USC. Well, we can't talk about football. Dylan Morris throwing for 230 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Washington got rushing touchdowns from 3 different backs, and they rolled over Arizona Saturday night at Husky Stadium 44-27. The game wasn't that close. The Huskies were thoroughly dominant. They jumped to a 24-0 halftime lead, 37-0 going into the fourth quarter before Arizona found the end zone in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter was garbage time. Huskies defense stifled the Wildcats for those first 3 quarters. But Dylan Morris and the Washington offense showed some efficiency and some explosiveness that they didn't have last week against Oregon State. It started on the opening drive when Morris hit Puka Nakua on a 65-yard catch and run touchdown. He added a 20-yard TD pass to tight end Cade Otten midway through the third quarter. That gave the Huskies a 37-0 lead. In between that, touchdown rushes from Kamari Pleasant, Sean McGrew, and Richard Newton. Newton added a second TV early in the fourth quarter on a 54-yard run. Dylan Morris, 15-25 passing. His numbers would have been better. There were a few dropped passes along the way. His touchdown strike to Nakua was his very first career touchdown pass. His favorite target, though, the big tight end, Otten. The Huskies tight end, a career-high 7 catches, 100 yards, and he spent the other time not catching passes, blocking and opening up the running game, and that earned him the game ball from Husky head coach Jimmy Lake.
The guy, wait till you see the film of him blocking tonight. It was impressive. He was just mashing guys all over the field, opening up lanes for our running backs. And then, of course, you know, the highlight plays are the pass catches that he had and the yards that he had and the touchdown. He is a big-time tight end. He's a big-time football player. So pleased with him. And, again, this is what a dog's all about. He is tough, he's physical, and he's smart. And he comes to work every single day. So excited for Cade. He had a big-time game. He's had 2 big-time games.
Arizona has now lost 9 games in a row, dating back to last year when they started their losing streak against the Huskies down in Tucson. Arizona managed only 66 yards of total offense through the first 3 quarters. When they woke up during garbage time, they ended up with 331 total yards for the game. Grant Gunnell, the starting quarterback, was sacked 5 times. He also lost a fumble, but he padded his stats again during garbage time with 259 yards and 3 fourth-quarter touchdown passes. The Wildcats managed to reach UW territory on just 1 of their first 8 possessions, and they went 2 for 13 in third down conversions. Washington finished with 472 total yards of offense. They rushed for 233 yards. Quarterback Dylan Morris throwing for 230 yards and 2 TDs. And after the game, Coach Jimmy Lake heaped praise on his freshman quarterback.
How about our guy Dylan Morris here? He just played his second college football game of his life in his second start, and all he does is go over 50% on third down, 100% on fourth down, no turnovers again, 2 games in a row, and technically no sacks. He stepped out of bounds on that one, but I guess it goes in the books as a sack. But for him to be able to have decision making, to not give up a legitimate sack, and not turn the football over, get us out of bad plays into good plays, keep good plays on. His accuracy, again, I think we still need, I know we need to make more plays from our pass catchers. We left a few out there, which we'll continue to improve on. But I'm so excited for Dylan. He's operating our offense, he's executing, and he's a great leader for us. So I'm excited to see his game continue to improve.
Tomorrow in sports, Joey Buckets. Joey Harris from Chelan signs a big contract extension with the Brooklyn Nets, and we'll hear from Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. That's sports on Tuesday. But for now, those are just some of the games that people are playing. Jefferson, back to you.
Dan, thanks so much. Hope you get some games to talk about sometime soon. Well, finally from us tonight, in a possible violation, actually a clear violation of Governor Jay Inslee's travel advisory, Santa Claus will soon be making his way from the North Pole to north central Washington. Among his early stops will be Manson on November 28th, where he'll arrive in his traditional yellow helicopter and then jump on a sleigh for a ride through town. On December 5th, the Jolly Guy will be in Kashmir for a drive-by parade that starts at Riverside Park at noon and winds through town before making its way back to the park. Now let's check in on what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with, who is it again? Dan Kuntz.
Thank you very much, Jefferson. By the way, yeoman's work in filling in for Grant Olson over the last couple of days. Join me tomorrow for a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. My guest will be Kirk Mosier. Kirk is the regional manager of all of the local Les Schwabs here in the north central Washington area, and it's apropos that Kirk pays us a visit because the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive is now officially underway. In fact, we'll be broadcasting live on Saturday after Thanksgiving at Hooked on Toys. I will be there. We'll talk about the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. It's the biggest event of the year to help all those kids get all the toys that they should have under their Christmas tree this holiday season. We'll talk to Mr. Mosier, and we'll have everything else you need to start your Tuesday, which is live and local right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Jefferson, back to you.
Les Schwab Toy Drive is a fun event for a good cause, but that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or on our website at ncwlife.com. Remember also, if you see news happening we would like to hear from you, you can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com, or give us a call, 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget your mask.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.